It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A partly to mostly sunny good morning to most of you. A little bit of cloud cover for others. Hey, I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester, looking at the sun outside. Very nice day today. Not much of a breeze out there right now, so we don't have too much of a wind chill to contend with. So at this stage of the game, very nice, very wintry type day, and temperatures will be pretty close to normal, maybe just a tad below as far as our afternoon high is concerned, but nighttime low will be well above normal for this time of the year. But there's a reason for that. That's because there is going to be a system approaching, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Cooler day yesterday, but again, a pretty nice day overall. Clouds, sun, a few flurries earlier in the day, and then very quiet overnight. We had cloud cover, so it did keep the temperatures, their overnight lows, still in the upper teens to right around 20 degrees. We did have a couple of spots in northern Michigan where it was clear, and the temperatures did drop down into the single digits. In particular, West Branch, they reported an overnight low of 4. Chilly conditions up north, not so chilly to the south. And right now, Matthew, what are we looking at as far as temperatures here moving into the noon hour?
Currently, over at the airport, it's partly sunny at 20 degrees. Over in Midland, it's mostly sunny at 21. Here, Radio Center, it's partly sunny at 19 degrees. We have northeast winds at 7 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.45, and it's falling.
We've got pretty stiff barometric pressure, as Matthew said. It does appear as though that barometer is going to be dropping, and for a very good reason, because there is a low pressure system which is over Wyoming, but it's approaching Minnesota. And eventually what's going to be happening is that low is splitting off from another low because everything is originating in Wyoming. One is going to the southeast, one is going to the northeast. We're in between, so we're not going to be able to take advantage of the one down south. We're going to have to look at the one that will be moving through Minnesota as we work our way through the day today. Temperatures, 28 is what we're going to be looking at as far as an afternoon high temperature, and it will be a little bit later on this afternoon when we see that. Looking for a low tonight of 24. Sun will set this evening at 5:54, rise tomorrow morning at 7:46. Cloudy, and then as we approach midnight, there is going to be the opportunity of seeing some precipitation. All of it because of that low that will be moving into Minnesota, increasing, holding our temperatures up, not warm temperatures, but for this time of the year, warm. That's going to push a little bit of moisture into the Great Lakes Bay area. So we will see some frozen precipitation. It will take the effects of that warmer air and the cooler stuff coming eventually. So we'll get some freezing precipitation, a little bit of drizzle or some fog, and we'll also get a little bit of snow shower activity. So by tomorrow morning for the early morning commute, and I'm talking somewhere between 5 and 7 tomorrow morning, we will be looking at some slick roads. So be advised, it is going to take you a little bit more time to get where you want to go. You're not going to have a problem. It's just going to take more time because the roads will be slick and the road crews are going to have a chance to get out there and put their salt on the roads to keep everything liquefied. All of that activity as far as precipitation goes is going to be leaving rather early in the day, clearing skies as we go into the late afternoon tomorrow. Our high temperature tomorrow will be 36, so that gives you an idea of how long the precipitation, whatever we do get, is going to last as far as frozen goes. That temperature will be moving up rather rapidly in the morning hours and then tapering off because the skies will be clearing off, and the backlash of that low pressure system, once it gets east of Michigan, is going to bring some much cooler air down over top of us. But still, Our temperatures will actually be a little bit above normal. After a high of 36, we'll drop down to about 18 for a low tomorrow night. The other factor that's going to be mixed in with all of this is going to be the winds. That low pressure system, as it moves from Minnesota across Lake Superior and into Canada, is going to be a fairly intense low. It's going to be gathering quite a bit of turbulence. So we're going to see a southwest wind tomorrow, which is the reason why those temperatures are going to be moving up rather rapidly, 5 to 15 miles per hour, but then gusting up to about 30 miles per hour late morning. And then in the afternoon, it'll become more westerly, and the wind speeds will be increasing. We'll have wind gusts of 40 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon and early tomorrow night. It'll decrease a little bit, still coming out of the west tomorrow night, somewhere between 20 and 30 miles per hour, gusts of 35. And then as we move into Friday, everything will be moved out. We'll have partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be a little bit more reflective of what's normal. 27 for a high, 17 for a low on Friday. Friday, we'll have a west wind gusting up to 25, but obviously not as gusty as what it'll be tomorrow. Then on Saturday, another system will be affecting our weather. This is the second of three that's going to be affecting us over the next 7 to 10 days. That one is going to give us some clouds as we go into the early morning hours, and it does appear as though a low-pressure system over Missouri is going to be gathering a lot of energy as it moves into and around Missouri and then heads toward the Ohio River Valley as we move into midday on Saturday and Saturday afternoon. We're going to be on the north side of it. We're going to be on the wet side of it. We're not going to get any liquid precipitation. It's going to be pretty much all snow for at least the northern 2/3 of the lower peninsula. Maybe along the border of Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan, we'll see possibly some liquid precipitation. But here in the Great Lakes Bay Area, it's going to be all snow, and it is going to be a heavier, wet snow. Right now, we're looking at upwards of 3 inches, and this is conservative as far as how much snow we're going to get out of this system if it maintains the pathway that we think it's going to take. And again, we're looking at starting off in Missouri and moving along the Ohio River, and then eventually out to the East Coast. If it fluctuates at all to the south, it'll be snow. It won't be a heavy, wet snow then, but we're not going to get the amount of snow. If it works its way a little bit further north, and let's say it crosses Indiana somewhere between Indianapolis and Evansville and moves into and around Columbus and then closer to Toledo, we're going to get not only heavy, wet snow, but we're going to get accumulating snow. As one person told me this morning, shoveling snow, and it will be a tough shovel because it's going to be a pretty strong system. They are going to be looking at possible tornadoes in the Tennessee Valley and the northern parts of the Gulf states. So that's what that system is going to be looking like, but it is going to progress systematically. It's not going to linger. It's not going to hang around. So by Sunday, we're going to be looking at partly cloudy skies, 28 for a high, 10 for a low, and then we start off the work week next week with, once again, temperatures in the upper 20s, and that's the way things are going to be shaping up for a good part of the work week next week. Precipitation tallies will be above normal for this time of the year. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have today?
Up next, we have Cody Harris from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
Unfortunately, it looks like Cody drew the short straw. We'll be talking to him, but we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service is brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain, your Dairyland seed dealer. They do carry a full line of corn and endless soybean seed, so it might be a good idea right now if you haven't finalized some of your plans, get a hold of Justin Varner over at Freeland Bean and Grain. Remember, Dairyland Seed. They've got seed with your name on it from your friends at Freeland Bean and Grain since 1983, where serving you is their business. We say good morning to Cody Harris over at Star of the West. And Cody, how fast you want to read these markets?
Well, good morning, guys. Well, I mean, we've seen a two-sided trade here today, but definitely here at the noon hour, getting close to it, we're definitely pretty bearish across the board. So maybe quicker the better here today.
Yeah, you say they were a little bit better earlier?
Yeah, earlier today I came in here from the overnight. Kind of all three commodities at least were flirting with being in the green. If not, I know corn and wheat were for sure in the green here today, but definitely slipped a little bit here today. But we're seeing some pressure, mostly due to some weather down in Argentina. Seems like they're getting some definitely needed heavy precipitation kind of in that south and central area. Then in the forecast next week, there's another system coming through there, and so they've been extremely dry. It's a little beneficial weather. There's definitely pressuring some soybeans, and then some the fact that China has retaliated with some tariffs of their own on some U.S. products, definitely pressuring soybeans, and that's pulling corn and wheat down, and that's what it seems like here this morning.
Well, it seems like with all this conversation about tariffs, a volatile market just became a whole lot more volatile.
Oh, yes, that's definitely the talk of the week here for sure. So, I mean, it seems like every conversation about the markets is tariffs, and I think the market's still trying to grasp what each one means or where we're going to go as we move forward. So that's why we're seeing a little bit of volatility here moving. At least we're seeing them kind of move in the right direction the last couple of days. Maybe a little bit of correction here, take a little risk off the table as far as a lot of these traders are long, especially in corn and soybeans. So you might be seeing a little bit of risk come off the table. Just as far as that fact, no one really kind of knows where this is going to end up or what the end result is going to be, but that's definitely what's driving the market here for sure.
Yeah, it sure sounds like the conversation these days is something that, quite frankly, we haven't seen for a few years. I mean, traders, the machines, everything else, they really don't know how this is going to affect us long term.
Really, that's correct. Like you said, a few years ago, we kind of seen this kind of same thing. So maybe back in the archives, they got some ideas of maybe what will happen here. But like you said, as far as the traders and all the algorithms that they're running, I know we're running above all key kind of moving averages as far as soybeans are concerned. So that's kind of an interesting effect as we move forward to kind of watch and see if this kind of changes or they change their approach with kind of this new market that we have here today.
So right now on the board, what do you have at Star of the West?
Yeah, right now we got cash wheat. That's down 3 at the moment. $5.59 on the white, $4.84 on the red. New crop wheat, that's down a penny. $6.36 on the white, $5.51 on the red. And then looking over at corn, cash corn's down 3 at $4.22. New crop corn, I want to call it unchanged at the moment at $4.02. And then looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are down 14 at $9.81. And new crop soybeans are down 11 at $9.61.
Thanks a lot, Cody. We appreciate it. You can put the white flag away, okay?
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll take it down from my desk.
All right, there you go. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining us. The Market Report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline. Now everyone qualifies for the employee price discount on all new in-stock 2024 Ram heavy-duty trucks at Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth. So buy from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is. Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, where family and service sells cars. And by Thumb Bank, making agricultural loans since 1895. More so than ever before, farming continues to offer challenges that are very demanding. And the folks at Thumb Bank are more than happy to work with you and make sure that you're covered, you're protected. Remember, they've got locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust, equal opportunity lender, and member FDIC. Doug Klein, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, we haven't bought another country yet, have we?
Well, yeah, they're for sale though, aren't they?
That's what I understand. If the price is right, anything's for sale, right?
My gosh, apparently, deal's
Yeah.
a deal. Boy. Well, speaking of deals, FMC had their earnings and they were disastrous. So they're down 33% today. Some 1/3 of their market cap is gone. $2 billion erased. So they're trading at a new low. ADM hit a new low. Hershey's, Campbell's Soup hit a new low. Get the picture here. All this food stuff hitting new lows. Google had their earnings. That's called Alphabet now. They missed, and that was a surprise. And so they shed about $90 billion in market cap on the open this morning, and that's kind of where they sat. Not a disaster, but interesting that one of the Magnificent Seven failed for the first time, and as far as I can remember. Advanced Micro Devices also had their earnings, and they were a disaster. They lost about 10% of their net value, so they hit a new low for the year. So, I mean, that's the new lows. New highs are the usual. Walmart and Starbucks and things like that are hitting new highs. So, we'll have to see what tomorrow brings, right? Always can look ahead till tomorrow. So anyway, here's your numbers. The March corn is 492, down 2.5. September corn is 469 3/4, unchanged. March soybeans 1060 3/4, down 14 1/4. September soybeans 1062.5, down 11.5. March wheat is 574 1/4, down 2 3/4, and September wheat 612, down 1/4 penny. Crude oil is 71.17, down $1.53. Heating oil 238.83, down 4.2 cents. Gasoline 204.5, down 5.5 cents. Natural gas is 327.5, up 2.2 cents. Over to currencies. Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys $1.4297 Canadian. That's down 24 ticks. The dollar buys 152.36 yen. That's down 197 ticks. So that's a pretty big move. The euro's at 104.11, up 34 ticks. The dollar's at 107.42, down 54 ticks. Gold's at 28.7110, up $17.80. Silver's 32.80, down 8.5 cents. Platinum's 1015.50, up $8.40, and copper's at 441.25, up 6 cents.
All right.
Like I said, always tomorrow.
Well, I'm glad you have that confidence anyway. There is there is a tomorrow. Okay. Doug, well, if there is, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right. Talk to you. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Michigan Truck Spring of Saginaw, your complete parts and service headquarters for light, medium, heavy-duty trucks, trailers, as well as buses and recreational vehicles. Quality parts and service at very competitive prices for well over 45 years. 800-358-4751 or buy online at truckspring.com. And don't forget, they are open till 11 p.m. Monday through Friday. Coming up next, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Bill Webster with Nutrient Ag, and we also have Jerry Samolsky from the Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
But first, this.
It happens after every commercial building gets built.
That looks great, boys. Wow, what a change. The owners are going to be thrilled.
Even after cleaning up the garage or shed. That leftover scrap metal can be a burden, but it doesn't have to be, and it can make you some cash. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal is a metal recycling company that'll pay you cash and recycle your metal for the future. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal also makes it easy. We can provide containers for industrial manufacturing facilities and small specialty shops for moving and storing scrap metals. Looking to scrap a vehicle? We got you. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw, just north of the Dow Event Center. Also located in West Branch, 1 mile off I-75 and M76. Schedule a car pickup or check metal prices now at rifkin-co.com. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal. Recycling today for tomorrow.
Friday bonus pricing has been extended at Rifkin Steel.
Farm Service brought to you by High Fidelity Genetics. They offer non-GMO seed corn and soybeans that qualify for organic production. And the neat thing about it is you get high quality, high yielding seed at half the price. And the test plots prove that you do get the best for less with High Fidelity Genetics. Check them out. Go online, highfidelitygenetics.com, and see what they are all about. Or give them a call at 515-434-7333. Bill Webster joining us right now from Nutrien Ag. And Bill, lots of interest going on right now as far as how much moisture we're going to get over the next few days. I think really we could stand a little bit, couldn't we?
Yeah, I think so. We had a pretty dry fall, and certain areas have picked up extra moisture, but a lot of areas are still lacking, I think, a little bit behind.
And right now, at this stage of the game, it doesn't look as though our wheat crop has been hurt at all, has it?
No, I don't believe so. Usually, once it goes into dormancy, it stays there as long as we stay cold. When we lose wheat, it's because we warm up and it comes out of dormancy, then we freeze again. That's what causes our wheat loss.
So what should we be advising our farmers right now, Bill?
Take delivery of everything. If you got room to take in your seed, fertilizer, whatever, take the delivery, because a lot of businesses, they have to turn their warehouse 2 or 3 times to get all this stuff out to the farm.
And the easiest way to do that is, in your case, give you guys a call, right?
Yep. If we haven't called the farmer, you can call us, and we'll get stuff to you, particularly seed in boxes, because it's safe from rodents that way.
And a lot of producers do have room, so they could take the delivery now.
That's right.
All right.
And
Bill?
it helps everybody out.
It sure does. Thank you so much. You have a great day, okay?
Yeah, you too, Terry. Thanks.
Will do. Bill Webster over at Nutrien Ag. Jerry Samolsky joining us right now. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Terry.
I did feel some of that crunching on the bottom of my shoes yesterday.
Yeah, I think we're lucky we're going to miss out on that ice that's going to go south tomorrow. And part of that, is getting all the ice built up on the trees and then branches break. If you trim trees appropriately, you have good structure, then typically, unless it gets really overwhelming, that ice isn't going to be a problem. There's many reasons we talk about pruning and why that's important. And an ice storm is one. If you trim correctly, the trees, you're going to leave stronger branches that are better connected to the plant, less chances of them shearing off and falling, and actually a better looking tree. And again, remember, I'm looking out my window right now, looking at some trees. Trees are 12 months a year, but no leaves are 6 of those months. So when you've got a great tree with good winter form, it's much more attractive and it's a stronger tree. It's healthier. There's just so many reasons to look at trimming your trees. So let's look at getting that done when the weather starts getting a little bit nicer later this winter, but before bud break.
Very good. Good advice. We appreciate it. Jerry, talk to you tomorrow, okay?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. We have had some questions regarding leasing land for solar development. So I thought it'd be a good idea to touch base with Eric Pfeiffer from Michigan Ag Today to get a little bit more information on that.
Well, leasing farmland for solar energy production remains a very hot topic across the U.S. As Eric Pfeiffer reports, a new survey from Purdue University is asking just how much farmers are being offered for their land.
The Purdue Ag Economy Barometer has been gathering this data going back to 2021. Dr. Jim Mintert, Professor Emeritus of Agricultural Economics at Purdue.
We've actually had to change how we give the answers to this question to capture the higher rates, because in the early days, the vast majority of responses were at $1,000 per acre or less. That's really started to shift. And if you look at the most recent results, 26% of the people who had a discussion, roughly 1 out of 4, said they were offered $1,500 or more per acre.
In this most recent survey, 42% of respondents were offered over $1,000 per acre. Dr. Michael Langemeyer, director of the Purdue Center for Commercial Agriculture, says it's interesting to see the wide ranges in these rates.
There's probably difference regional, which we can't pick up because we don't ask information about regional differences. But the main point I want to bring up is do your homework. Just because you're quoted a rate, it might seem really good compared to your cash rent. Try to find out what other people have been offered, if at all possible, because the rates vary tremendously.
Mintert agrees, though they acknowledge that information can be difficult to get.
Many of the agreements include a non-disclosure agreement with respect to the rates, but that doesn't apply prior to signing.
Mintert also encourages you to engage a professional during negotiations because there's a lot more to the lease than just the dollar amount, like how the land would be managed, for example.
Yes, very important point, especially those last sentence or two. How is the land going to be managed, and how long of a period of time is it going to take if you want to reclaim that land for other use? So ask a lot of questions. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update, so you stick around for that. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coin in Bay City.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.